So today I'm going to give you a review of one of my most used Longchamp bags within my collection and see what your thoughts are on it as well. Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Nick. Fab to have you here. For those of you who aren't new here, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you're enjoying my videos. I try to put out videos 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion to some slightly more personal topics. For example, I recently discussed the process of coming out and whether or not that's easy or not, and my thoughts on that topic. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please do hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and join our conversation. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, just celebrating who you are as an individual, and not letting anybody dim your light. That's what I believe. Also give me a follow on Instagram if you feel so inclined. All my details will be floating around the screen at various points in time. So, as I mentioned, I am going to talk you through one of my most used bag styles from the Longchamp bags that I have. Now, I will caveat before I get into this, I have 2 of this particular style / size. One is far more used than another. However, I do love the style, I just haven't used this other one particularly, and there's a specific reason for it. Anyway, let's get into it. The bag that I am talking about is the Longchamp Pliage Neo in the 40cm base size, which is the large. The reason that this is the Neo is that it has the shoulder strap that attaches to it. So the shoulder strap just links on here. Mine is in this limited edition / seasonal print. It's a geometric print. I believe this was from 2018. I bought this at the Bicester outlet. Mine, of course, has the black leather, as you can see, with the black handles, and it also has silver hardware. Now, as I mentioned, this is a 40cm bag, so it is a very large top handle, but it is incredibly roomy. Oh, you can fit so much in here. You can fit the kitchen sink and a pair of shoes. Honestly, you're gonna have a great time with this bag. It is massive. As you can see, it's one open space. Mine has a bag organizer inside it. I use the bag organizers that are designed for the Speedy 40 because it's a very similar proportion. In terms of the rest of the bag, it's also got a small interior pocket, which is smaller than you would find on the Pliage Club, as an example, but I just tend to put a card holder in there or a hand sanitizer. Whatever it is that I'm going to need to grab more quickly without rifling through the bag is what goes in there. Car key, house keys, whatever that may be. Really practical, really roomy. Now, having a bag organizer in these, I say, is an absolute necessity. The reason being, the nylon itself doesn't have a huge amount of structure. The bag organizer gives it a very nice structure. So hopefully you can see that. I think it does stand up really well once it's got a bag organizer in it. And because when it's got the organizer in it, what you don't find is it doesn't tend to sag very much, which I think is quite important. There's nothing worse than someone who doesn't have an organizer in their bag, and it should be this sort of shape, but it's actually doing this. The reason being, everything that's heavy has just dropped to the bottom, and it's suddenly become kind of almost like diamond shaped, but unintentionally so. I find this bag to be incredibly carefree. The nylon is very carefree. As you know, I'm a big fan of the Pliage nylon range. I actually don't own any leather pieces yet. But that will happen. But I really like the nylon. I find it very easy to maintain. I recently did a video on maintaining a Longchamp bag, so go and take a look at that if you're interested. And the black leather is very easy to look after as well. Particularly as I bought this at the time, I bought this just as the pandemic was kind of starting, so we were using so much hand sanitizer, we were washing our hands constantly. This really doesn't look like it has been worn all that much. I was worried about the impact of hand sanitizer and things like that, particularly with the frequency that we were doing it. I was always someone who used that stuff, not at the frequency that I do now and did during the height of everything. However, this has held up really well. I mean, it's got a little bit of wear on the corners. You should turn in your corners. I haven't on this, but you should turn those in. But this was used, I would say, for about 6 months straight. It was so practical, particularly when I was going through the house purchase process. This, I could just carry everything with me. This had documents in it. This had samples when I was able to go and look at furniture when that was possible. This had like carpet samples in it and samples of fabrics for sofas and, you know, brochures. You know, there was all sorts that was going on in here. And it managed to carry everything. I absolutely loved it. It's a bag that I also think is fun, it's chic, I think it's unisex, absolutely. I don't believe that fashion has genders anyway. However, I do believe that this is very, very unisex. I get a huge amount of compliments on this from men as well, which is fab. And what I also think this size is really good for is if you didn't want to use it as a top handle, you could use it as a small weekend bag, an overnight bag. I have used it as an overnight bag. You can fit a lot in it. And because it has the strap, although I don't use the strap, that does make it easier to carry. You can just fling it over your shoulder, rock and roll, especially if you are using it for the weekend. The reason that I don't use the strap so much is that I don't like the way that it makes the bag look when it's on, so it would be like so. I also find that the shape, particularly maybe because I have the organizer in it, I find that it looks quite awkward on my frame. So I carry this exclusively as a top handle. I'll be honest, I haven't used this for probably about 6 weeks or so, but I do really like it. I think it's fun, I think it's different. I like the fact that the blue is the kind of dominant colour throughout it. Yeah, it's different. This was the bag that really started my love affair with the Longchamp top handles. And as you have seen as time's gone on, that's spiralled. That has just continued to grow and it will now forevermore. I am such an advocate of the Longchamp brand. I'm such an advocate of the Pliage. I loved this one so much. And I loved the fact that it was slightly different and it wasn't one that you could buy normally. They normally come out with... there's normally black and red and blue, I think there's occasionally green, and they will have the same colour of leather, so if it's a red bag, it will have red leather, which are lovely, but for me, a little bit on the bland side. So I really wanted another one of these in this size that had a little bit of a pop to it and that was a limited run in some capacity. Therefore, in came this one. Now, I will be honest, I haven't used this one very much. I've used it twice, I think, and I've owned it for circa 2.5, 3 months. So, this also has an organiser in it. It opens like so. So mine has the same organiser in it. This one has a larger pocket, so you could very easily put a phone in it. Rimmel London, hide the blemish. What else have we got in here? Ah, my Albus oil stick that I can't open. Yeah. I should probably throw that out. I don't know how long it's been in there. But this has quite a large pocket in it, so you could very easily put a phone in. I've used this, actually I've used this 3 times, because I used this for work once, and then I've used it out twice. I took it to a dinner once. I think I used it when I went to Stowe with my parents another time. So it is a lovely, lovely bag. Really lovely bag. You can see the stitching on the inside there. It's obviously got the Pride print. This was in their Pride collaboration. Same features. I think it's fabulous. The slight difference with this one is the fact that it is a canvas opposed to a nylon. So I think in terms of its water resistance, I think that the nylon will fare slightly better. This one has also started to show a tiny bit of wear on the corners, considering the fact that it's only been used 3 times. It probably has similar wear on it to this one, which has been used for 6 months straight, and then periodically. So I don't really know what's going on there. Maybe the nylon's just a more durable material. But I love the fact that this has the black handles. I love the silver hardware. I've accessorised mine, as you can see, with this scarf. This is beautiful. It was a bit of an impulse purchase, but I think it's absolutely fab. Again, it comes with a strap, so if you wanted to, you could put the strap onto the bag. And yeah, again, a similar issue where I think it slightly distorts the proportions of the bag, and I think it looks a little bit funny on my frame. So I mentioned that I used this bag less than I used my other one, and that there was a particular reason for that. This is the reason for that. I bought this around a similar time. They're actually not too dissimilar in terms of size, and I just wanted to get the use out of my Mulberry more than the Longchamp one because it felt different, it felt new. I've got a lot of Longchamp bags. It was my first Mulberry, I was excited to use it. But I am very excited to use my Pride bag, I think it's lovely. However, I am going to use this weekend, and I'm actually going to use this as my weekend bag. Going to stay with some friends on Sunday night. I'm going to take this with me, pack my stuff in it, and I'll probably just take another bag to carry my kind of day-to-day, my daily stuff. This will carry my clothes. Anyway, they're absolutely fabulous. I really do recommend them. The size I appreciate might seem overwhelming for people, particularly if you have a slightly smaller frame. However, do consider the 40 centimetre as a potential weekend bag. If you think that this is something that would work for you, this would be a great carry-on. Yes, it's beautiful. They are fabulous, fabulous pieces. I cannot recommend them enough. This one in particular, really did start my love affair with the Longchamp top handles. I, like I said, find that the size does work for me, but if you think that maybe, for example, the 30 centimetre works better for you, there you go, as a kind of a difference. If you think the 30 centimetre works for you better, go for that as your day bag. If you think that this would work really well for you as a weekender, go for it. I think they can be absolutely great. They're really versatile. Highly recommend. So there we have it, guys. That is my thought on the Longchamp Les Pliage large top handle. My two are in the Neo styles. Both of them were limited run, seasonal, limited edition prints, whatever we want to call them. Highly recommend. Definitely keep your eye out. Anyway, thank you so much as always for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.